LeBron James made his first public comments last night on Instagram. I'm heartbroken and devastated, my brother. Man, I love you, big bro. My heart goes to Vanessa and the kids. I promise you, I'll continue your legacy, man. You mean so much to us all here, especially Laker Nation. And it's my responsibility to put this on my back and keep it going. We now welcome in ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler. How are you?
Doing okay. Tough, man. This has been devastating.
Yep, considering the times. And we'll continue the conversation. I mean, LeBron fully taking responsibility in his post. Stephen A., what do you think about that?
I don't mind. I think it's entirely appropriate. But it's not really because LeBron James is wearing the purple and gold and playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's because how he conducts himself in the pursuit of excellence. That's where I think it's appropriate. You know, we'll sit up here and I'll tell you in the past, LeBron was scared to go to the lane because he didn't want to end up going to the free throw line. Or I'll talk about a fadeaway jump shot that he took instead of going to the hole and bringing up a free throw or something along those lines. But what you have never, nor would you ever hear me say about LeBron James, is that LeBron James has ever cheated the game of basketball. He always goes about the business of trying to keep himself in peak condition and to be ready to answer the call, understanding that he's a marquee. And as a responsibility, his number one job is to show up. The best ability is availability, and he's always available. And so when you look at it from that perspective and you think about what made Kobe so great, what made MJ so great, guys like that, the number one thing to me I pointed to wasn't their ability. It was the fact that they always showed up. I love watching an interview from a few months ago where Kobe Bryant he was on stage talking to somebody and he recounted the story of Vince Carter was the rage. He was in Toronto and he was taking the league by storm and he was the new aerial assault and all of that stuff. And Kobe Bryant was talking about how his back was killing him and he was enduring these back spasms. And then the game against Toronto was coming up. And he told the trainer, I don't have back spasms today. I'm going to show up today. Because who in the hell would not have wanted to see Kobe going up against Vince Carter? You knew that that was the marquee. Yeah, it's a team sport, and it was the Raptors against the Lakers and all of this other stuff. But you wanted to see Kobe against Vince Carter. That's what basketball brings, the individual matchups in the throes of a game, of that competition, you know, with the collective agenda ultimately being paramount, but that individual warfare taking place is the kind of thing you reflect upon. And all I'm saying is that when you think about LeBron and his statement and what he said, understand over $1 million, how, you know, he spends on his health every year, how his fitness center can rival, you know, LA Fitness or something like that in his own house, and all of these things you hear about him. The dude is dedicated, and he's dedicated to being excellent and never, ever cheating the game. And if you want to honor the Mamba mentality in terms of going out there and competing, LeBron will do that for you, and I can appreciate him coming with that perspective.
I couldn't possibly agree more. I think when I think of Kobe Bryant, and this is like the ultimate tribute you can give an athlete, I think about, you know, an NBA game generally takes about 2.5 hours. And the way I always describe a guy like Kobe Bryant, and very few guys that will ever say about this historically, it was the greatest return, guaranteed return on the investment of your time was watching a guy like Kobe Bryant play. I knew when I sat down to watch Kobe Bryant what I was about to see. Now, it doesn't mean he was going to play great every night. He was going to have off shooting nights and turn the ball over and all those human things. But I guaranteed you, I knew what effort I was about to watch. You weren't going to see a guy lay on a screen, lazily go under against a guy that could score, jog back in transition, and watch some guy that, you know, he considers a rival or a peer go get a layup or a dunk in transition. You weren't going to see those things. You were going to see a guy completely dedicated and committed to what he was about to do. And he took that so seriously. And I think you're right, Stephen A. Like, for LeBron to honor him by going and wearing a Laker uniform and winning a title, yeah, that would be a great way to honor Kobe, because he did that. And that's how we view Kobe in our minds. We picture those moments. But even greater than that, it would be to honor him in that way, the way we're talking about now. You know, that commitment to the next 48 minutes, this is what you're going to see, because that's the first thing we all generate in our minds when you think about a guy like Kobe Bryant. And I think that's really what LeBron's talking about.
there are two things here. One, there is the game of basketball. Michael Jordan, and there's a reason that other than the bigs, when you got past Larry and Magic, it was Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. No one else is in that category. Apologies to guys like James Harden who are putting up great numbers and everything because the game has changed and you can exploit the rules a little differently. And Kobe was the last of the great kind of solo artists, right, who could do that, who could score, in isolation and took a lot of mid-rangers. But that's one of those things where the metrics have to catch up to what actually happened to capture the value better. None of these guys, to Kobe, it went from Jordan to Kobe to LeBron. The mantle got passed. And so in that respect, LeBron has that responsibility. He's already covered that. He's always represented basketball great. He's a great ambassador for the sport. And who can say something bad about LeBron in that respect? Then there's another thing. It's a Lakers thing. This is a Lakers thing. It's funny because Michael Young, who was a great baseball player and in another era would have been in the Hall of Fame, by the way. But Michael Young texted me. He's in L.A. He's a Lakers fan. And about this just earlier today, the responsibility that LeBron now has as a Laker. Because Kobe was a lifelong Laker, right? When you think about that team, the -- brand by far in the history of basketball. Apologies to the Celtics. Most of their championships came before the common era, before the modern basketball game. The Lakers are just blowing 10 championships. Next highest is 6, right, since the modern era of basketball. Wilt Chamberlain, arguably the greatest ever at that time. They didn't care in L.A. until he won a championship. He would not, Wilt Chamberlain wouldn't be a Lakers legend if he didn't win a championship. Shaq wound up winning with the Heat and was a dominant force, with Orlando. But it's the Lakers championships, which is why he's in the rafters, right?